Awesome. So I want to talk about cold calling and sales and door knocking and have a discussion because I know that I had a discussion a few days ago, and then even before that it comes up from time to time in my business about cold calling, door knocking, all those sales techniques. I know sometimes it gets on people's nerves, not necessarily when I do. Well, I know it does when I do it too. But I know some people have some really valid reasons and probably some horror stories. Andrew, what's up? I do see you on here. It's telling me there's a bunch of people on here, but only showing me like 2 names. So if you're on here, leave me a comment, say hi, let me know that you're here. I will upload the replay. So if you're watching on a replay, leave a comment and say replay. Just so I know who's all seeing this video, I want to get some opinions, get some discussion about cold calling and sales. If you absolutely hate it, you're more than welcome to say that. If you support it, you're more than welcome to say that too. I want to clear up a couple things about my perspective being in sales and real estate sales. Obviously, everybody knows that if they're watching this on the page. I am in real estate. I'm a real estate agent. I help people buy, sell, invest in property, and obviously that includes sales. And cold calling and door knocking is one of the many sales approaches that I have. For basically what it comes down to is talking to people, contacting people, and finding out what I can do to help them with buying, selling, or investing in real estate if they want to. Obviously that's their decision. I tell everybody it's our job as agents in the real estate business to inform, communicate, educate to people so they know all their options, and then they can make an informed, educated decision for themselves. It's not our job to sway them or convince them or push them one way or the other. We're all adults here. You can't sign a real estate contract under the age of 18. So legally, if we're even sitting down having a conversation about real estate, you're probably an adult and you can make your own decisions. It's just my job to make sure that you understand all the options and scenarios that could result in those decisions. So talking about cold calling and door knocking, I'm just going to go right into it. 2 things that people value the most. Anybody want to comment? Drop a comment. Let me know 2 things you think people value the most. It's telling me the numbers are going all up and down and all over the place. So I'm just going to give it to you. Money and time are what I think are the 2 things that people value the most, and really gets down to the root of how people feel about cold calling or door knocking. If you've had an experience where you're sitting in your house and the phone rings or somebody knocks on the door, and whether they're trying to quote unquote sell you something, or it's a survey, or they're trying to make you aware of something in the neighborhood, political candidates, campaigning, it's really all the same thing when you break it all down. But I know people have had bad experiences too. People have come to your house and maybe you felt like it wasn't something that was legitimate. You felt like they were trying to scam you or take something from you. Money and time, the 2 things that people value the most. So that's why I think when you get someone as a salesman to pick up their phone or answer their door, you're already in the negative with them. When you knock on somebody's door or you give them a phone call as a salesman, you've got to understand that you are already in the negative. You are already on their time. And for most people, not only are you on their time, but their number one thought, first impression, as soon as they hear your voice and realize that you're not, a close friend or somebody that they know well, doesn't matter really how you introduce yourself. A lot of people, the first thing that they will do is go to, this person's trying to take my money. They're trying to sell me something. And that could come from personal experiences, or more than likely it probably just comes from other people's stories, because I honestly can't tell you too many times that somebody's knocked on my door or called me prior to getting into real estate and just tried to flat out sell me something or take money or do something. Sometimes people will annoy you, and sometimes they're not upfront with their intentions on the phone, which I think gives salespeople a bad name, and that's a lot of the reason why we're probably having this conversation. But that's not always the case. We could spiderweb this thing a million different ways. I would say that sales in general, despite some people's negative beliefs, is not about being after someone's money. It's about helping someone solve a problem, delivering a solution, a tool or resource that can solve their problem, and it's got to be a fair exchange. That goes for sales in general, and it goes for cold calls and door knocking. It goes for any conversation that you're having with somebody, because, like I said, when you're on somebody else's time, that's one of the things they value most, that and their money. I think we're overly attached to our money, and because of that, we're attached to our problems because we're not willing to invest or even hear about solutions that could make those problems go away because we think that it's going to cost us money. But back to the point, I think as salespeople, it's completely our responsibility to be able to quickly and professionally qualify whether or not our solution is a good fit for the person we're talking to, and to be able to offer them something more in value than what we're taking away from them. Again, with a cold call or a door knocking conversation, that's just their time. We've got to be able to offer them something that's more valuable than their time. We've got to leave them with a reason when they get off that phone why it was worth their, it could be 45 seconds, it could be 2 minutes. I have phone conversations sometimes that are 10 minutes. Sometimes the conversations are 20 minutes. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how long the conversation is, those people value their time. They probably were not expecting my call, and I want them to get off the phone leaving with something more valuable than the 1, 2, 5, 10, 20 minutes that they gave up to have that conversation with me. So, and again, I'm not even just talking about cold calling here. I think it comes down to all sales in general. I don't think it really matters how you get in front of somebody. I think, to me, calling on the phone, door knocking, it's one of those things in my business. People have homes. You can walk outside and you can see them. I mean, they're there. You go to them. There's people in them. They own a home, and it's, you know, an investment that they have money into. The bank every month sends them a bank statement that tells them how much is in their bank account or how much is in their retirement account. So to me, it's no different to knock on somebody's door and let them know what's going on with their most likely largest investment, which is their house. They've got hundreds of thousands of dollars most likely invested into that property. So it only makes sense to me for them to want to know what's going on with that investment, to want to check their balance. And that's what I found to be the most effective, valuable resource to offer people when I'm cold calling or when I'm knocking, is to have something of value. I see a lot of salespeople overcomplicate it and try to offer gifts, candy, all kind of stuff that doesn't have anything to do with their business. And I think that just confuses people, and it's not necessarily viewed or perceived as a genuine gesture to walk up to somebody's door and give them candy, which is, first of all, weird, and then try to get them to talk to you about real estate. Try to tell them that you're a real estate agent. Here's some candy. Will you sell your house with me now? You know, I'm in real estate, so obviously my knowledge and my expertise is in real estate. If someone was going to come to me, that's what I would expect them to be talking about. I wouldn't expect somebody to call me or look me up on my website, you know, to try to get free gifts or something like that didn't have anything to do with real estate. So I feel that my knowledge on the real estate market, my expertise on the real estate market, and the information that I have for people who are interested in buying, selling, investing, or own already real estate, houses, homes, property, you know, that information is useful to people, and that's what I have to offer them, and it just makes sense. Everyone doesn't find it useful. Some people don't care what their house is worth, or so they say. They don't always admit it on the phone. Some people just wake up angry. Some people